Hey everybody, it's your boy the Tatumeister here, and I gotta fix my hair a bit here. Hold on a sec. So yeah, I know I haven't done a solo movie review in a while, but for 2024 I wanted to... There's a lot of good movies coming out this year, and I feel like we need to talk about some of these movies this year. So today, I'm here to talk to you about The Beekeeper. That's the night in the background, by the way. Let me move that stuff in the background so it looks a little better. Alright, so, The Beekeeper, starring Jason Statham and Josh Hutcherson. Now, if you've been living under a rock and you don't know what Jason Statham is, I don't know what to tell you. This guy's in The Meg, Transporter, Hobbs and Shaw, Mechanic. I mean, yeah, Jason Statham is an extremely well-known action star. And this is like, I don't know what number of movies this is. Also directed by David Ayer. I have to look up who wrote it. But... Okay. So it was Kurt Wimmer. He wrote Law Abiding Citizen, a few other movies. But I would argue this is probably his best script, without question. Like, okay. Let me get into the actual movie itself. So, The Beekeeper. Man, where do I even start? Okay, I'll start with telling you what the movie's about without spoiling it. So... It's basically about this guy going on a justice. He's going on a justice quest after something happens to his best friend. That's really all I can say without spoiling. And I'm gonna tell you right now, there is no way you will not be entertained by watching this movie. I was laughing, I was cheering, I was blown away. The Beekeeper could arguably be David Ayer's best movie. Like, arguably could be Jason Statham's best movie. Like, this was awesome. Just beginning to end. I loved everything about it. Now, I wouldn't call it a masterpiece. It is got a couple things I'm going to talk about towards the end it kept me giving it from 5 stars, and it kept me giving it for 10 out of 10. But, let me tell you what, it is a great start to this year. It is phenomenally done. It is glorious. I want to watch it again. I do have to watch it one more time before if this rating does stick, which I don't know. I'm giving it a high rating at the end, but I'm going to get into some negatives later, which I will talk about, but I was entertained like this like I was for Godzilla 2. If I'm comparing this to Godzilla King of the Monsters, then you understand how much I enjoyed this. Or, it was more enjoyable than many people out in Honey. Yeah, I would say that. Like, from a pure enjoyment standard, this was just cake. This was ice cream. This was, this was everything. From a pure enjoyment standard. Now, I'm going to get in more of the directing and the writing and all that. So, well, I don't say the script always lands. The script lands a lot of the time. Like, there are some really, really powerful lines in this film that I was amazed it wasn't even in an action movie. Like, bro... Like, this was some, like, Godfather, like, some of the lines in here feel like some stuff that you hear out of some, like, it didn't even feel like some action movie lines. Like, really? They put that in? Like, wow. Like, bro. And then, the directing, of course, David Ayer, he did Fury. He did, already know who he is. He did Bright. He did this one. He's a great filmmaker, truly. But yeah, I really dug Beekeeper. It was I'm trying to do my best to not say what happens, but like, man, this is why I'm doing this for you, because you have to go see this. This is monumental action filmmaking. Like, on par with John Wick. I argue better than John Wick 1, maybe better. It's on par with the John Wick and the freaking, it's on par with the John Wick and and Hobbs and Shaw and all the best action movies out there you've ever seen. Like, I was impressed. I think my opinion on this is I don't see anybody going in here and not being entertained, because that is just how entertaining and fun this movie is. It is just glorious, badass heroism, glorious, badass fun, glorious, badass action scenes. It's just got everything anyone could want. There's nothing you can not get out of this. Alright, now that I've spewed my positives on Beekeeper, I guess I'll talk about negatives, which, again, I have very, very small negatives here. So, the main negative I gotta go is with the villain itself, the antagonist. As good as Josh Hutcherson does as the antagonist, he doesn't have a lot of scenes, and he doesn't really interact with the Beekeeper a lot, which really does draw the movie back. The scene that they have when they talk to each other is really good, but there's only one scene that they talk to each other, and that's about it. And that's all you really get. I get it, Josh Hutcherson is not a physical threat, but there's a way they could have gone around that I have an idea. Okay, I'm gonna have to spoil this to talk about this idea, though. Spoiler right here, I'm gonna put a timestamp. You don't want me to spoil this part of the movie. It's towards the end of the movie. Please skip to this part. I'm gonna spoil one part. 3, 2, 1, spoiler. Okay. So, there's a part at the end where the Beekeeper kills, like, he basically shoots Josh Hutcherson's character, Danforth. Like, he basically comes in and saves the day. Like, he stops him. That's kind of how his character ends. Here's how I would have done it. I would have made it to where, this is how I would have wrote this. I would have made it to where there would be one last trump card. One final idea that the CIA agent they hired would do. A robotic exoskeleton suit. Like, something that would help him fight the Beekeeper. That's how I would have ended the movie. And it would have been a glorious final battle. It would have been like a battle of passion. Like, why are you doing this? What makes you do this? You know, it would have been an epic monologue scene. It would have been like something out of Blade Runner. I think it would have been truly magnificent if that's what we got. Again, the ending we did get is still great. But that is just my one little, you know... Alright, yeah, I'm back in the non-spoiler. That's like my one little tidbit I would have added. But unfortunately, that's not how it ended. And that's okay. I still loved and enjoyed this film for what it was. But I would have personally ended it on an epic final confrontation with the villain. And that would have made this movie elevate maybe to a 10 out of 10. Maybe a high 5-star. If I can give this movie any other critiques, I do feel it is... The main character, the Beekeeper, Mr. Clay, or whatever, does feel a little too overpowered at times. And maybe that's the entire point. He's just that fucking badass. That is kind of the point of the movie, I understand. But at some point, you know, you have to make him a little less OP. Like, I feel, you know, overpowered. Like, he's just too strong. I feel like no matter what action hero, it felt, I guess that's kind of the drawback to this movie, is that you didn't feel like this guy was in impending danger at all. Like, this guy was just a force to be reckoned with. Like, nothing could touch this guy. He was just untouchable. It was hilarious to watch. But I'm like, dude, like, even the strongest guy in the movie got whipped in like 2 minutes. Like, the strongest guy in the movie besides the Beekeeper still got whipped by the Beekeeper in 2 minutes. Like, I mean, he still didn't have a chance. Like, it's just hysterical. It was hilarious to watch him just obliterate everybody in this movie. That's kind of why I want a sequel, to have a villain that's on equal footing. Or if they took my idea. But, like, okay. I don't know. Like, John Wick and every other action hero that would... I feel like even James Bond wouldn't even really stand a chance against this guy. Because, like... I mean, after seeing the movie, I don't even think James Bond can even beat this guy. Like, I mean, David Ayer crafted the most powerful fucking action hero I have ever seen. Like, this dude is on another level. Like, the stuff he did in the movie is just absolutely insane. Like, I don't know how he did some of this stuff. It's just like, what the hell? It's just hilarious to watch. That's what I'm saying. From a pure entertainment perspective, this is gold. But I guess from a logic perspective, you can throw that out of the window, because some of the stuff this guy does in the movie is just absolutely insane. But, I mean, it's just like... I don't really care. Listen, I mean, the movie was just awesome. Who cares? I don't really care. But, anyway, guys, so, what do I rate the movie? I'm going to give it a 9.4 out of 10. Yeah, 9.4 for right now. I have to rewatch it again to see if it goes higher or lower. But 9.4 out of 10 is what I'm going to give it. It is monumentally well done. Excluding how they do the villain. The villain is the main problem. I feel his character could have been done better. If they had done his character better, this would have been a 5-star, maybe close to a 10 out of 10 movie. But as it stands, the movie's still extremely well done. But I do feel they could have done the villain himself better. Like, I love Josh Hutcherson. Josh Hutcherson did a great job playing the villain. It's just, I feel like they just didn't write his character well enough. I feel they didn't do enough with him, and that's okay. And the movie's not called Villain is Doing Asshole Things. I understand it's called The Beekeeper. I get it. It's not about him, but it's kind of why John Wick 3 is special to me, because they did a great job with the antagonist in that one. Like even in John Wick 4 too. Like in John Wick 3 and 4, although I have some gripes with John Wick 4, John Wick 3 and really all the John Wick movies, I feel they do a great job with the antagonists. Like, what's another? I'm trying to think of another action movie that did a good job with the antagonist. I'd argue Equalizer 1 and 2 also did a phenomenal job with the antagonists. That's what I'm saying. There's movies that have done, like action movies that have done a phenomenal job with the antagonists. But I feel like Beekeeper didn't really focus on the villain a lot, which kind of draws it back. I feel like if they had gave the villain more to do, then this would have elevated to a 5-star movie. But as it stands, the movie's still kick-ass and badass, but the villain just didn't do enough. I feel the villain, you need a great villain to go with your great hero. You can't just have the great hero do awesome badass stuff without the villain doing crazy badass, stuff too. I feel like that's kind of what you needed for this, and you didn't really do that, which, that's fine, David Ayer and the team, I understand, whatever, you just didn't really want the villain to have the shine, you just wanted to show how badass the Beekeeper was, I understand, but I just feel like that would have elevated it a little for me, that's all. But anyway, guys, that's my review on The Beekeeper. Definitely go. I highly, extremely recommend this film. It is just entertainment gold. Like again, I don't see how you can walk into the movie and walk out not be feeling pumped up, because this. I was clapping at the end. Like it is just wonderfully well done. Like I loved it truly. That's why I'm reviewing it, because I loved it so much. Please go see it. I mean, seriously, I can't high recommend it enough. Anyway. So, yeah, that's my review. I'll see you guys whenever I come back on the channel. It could be a week, could be a month, could be whatever. I don't know. Tina Must signing out. Bye.